So hopefully this is the first and last time that I'm going to show my face into this channel. First and foremost, I would like to thank The Real Mind Crime for inspiring me to make this channel about NBA, about numbers, and about basketball in general. We love this.
All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope you all are having a good day so far. So, this is kind of exciting for me, at least. I checked in my mentions, which is something I don't do very often. On my YouTube studio, and I saw this message here. And I remember this conversation going back a while ago, but this was left for me about a month ago. And sorry it took so long to get to this, but channel called Behind the Numbers, and basically saying that I inspired them to make this channel. And this is going to be their first channel. I'm sorry, their first video for their brand new channel. And the video is going to be titled, give me 1 second here. It's going to be titled, This Number Ruined LeBron's Greatness. And it's by a channel called Behind the Numbers. You guys, one video on this channel so far. I see 24 subscribers and 822 views. That's actually really great for first video. I did scroll down on some comments, and nothing but great praise so far. So I'm excited to get into this with you guys. So anyways, without further ado, I'm definitely linking the original video down below in the description. Guys, if you want to check it out, go check it out. And this is one of those things with such a low subscriber count, we can really blow this channel up. So it's going to be up to you guys. I already went ahead and subscribed, but all right, I say let's get right into this. Like the vid if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this and all that stuff. Hit that hype button if you want to hype my video. All that good stuff. I appreciate it all. And let's do this. So I'm going to start out by just showing you the post. So this was from a month ago here. And it says, thanks to The Real Mind Crime for inspiring me to make this channel. The first video was finally out after 3 months off on... basically off and on again working. Next video is about the number 3. Interesting. And there's the link to the video right here. And here we go. Okay, we're ready to roll. Let's do this. By the way, thank you so much for the kind words. I mean, it goes without saying. Like, if I could inspire you to do this, that's like... that's wild. I'm really, really happy for you, and I hope you keep going.
The number 1 is arguably the single most meaningful number in existence. Anything more than 1 is no longer singular. Anything less is incomplete. Historians explored it as unity. Psychologists saw it as solitude. On this spot of history, we were presented with one complete athlete. One that was never whole to begin with.
Right out of the bat, great editing. Wow.
In 2003, the world was presented with one athlete who would come to define not just a team, not just a sport, but an era and arguably a culture. That one was LeBron James. This photo summed up the frenzy that he generated, and little did we know that this will define his career that will span more than 2 decades.
Yeah.
We all know the story. It's the hometown kid that will become the prodigy that changed the game. And in his rookie year, LeBron James was more than just hype. He was a specimen of raw talent.
Agreed.
The poster child of resilience and a test of faith. The media packaged him as the chosen one. High school accolades don't matter much in the grand scheme of things, but firsts matter. There are signposts that mark the beginning of something big. For example, LeBron James was the first high school junior to be named to the USA Today All-USA First Team, if somebody remembers USA Today.
Oh, yeah, I do.
The first to have his high school games televised nationally on ESPN.
I mean, I remember the USA Today. I don't remember USA Today All-NBA First Team, though, but that's cool. First high school games on ESPN. Yeah,
That's
I remember.
more recognizable. And the first to cause a bidding war between Nike, Adidas, and Reebok while still doing homework and attending biology class. But arguably the most notable one of all is that he is the first high school basketball player to grace the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
Let me repeat that, Sports Illustrated, not some hometown newsletter. They called him the chosen one before he ever stepped into an NBA court.
Crazy. What was this? What was this writing here?
They called him
LeBron James, the chosen one jersey, photo matched, Sports Illustrated cover. Estimate $1 million, $1 to $2 million. Shoot.
the chosen one before he ever stepped into an NBA court.
Yep.
With the benefit of hindsight and the digital time machine called video essays, we can now mark this as one of the most influential footnotes in sports history. These things don't win championships. In fact, these firsts were often read by stadium announcers while the banner was being hung as some sort of precursor to what was being achieved. But this time it's different. This time we were meant to know these before the inevitable trophies were held high. Because this one kid wasn't just good. He was changing the system before he ever played in it. Amidst these firsts, there were a few notable footnotes in 2003. Number 23 was back, not in Chicago, but in Washington.
Dude, are you really editing on a tablet? That's cool. Wow.
40 years old, stitched together by willpower and logging in all 82 games. He averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. He had nothing to prove, and yet he still showed up.
Yep,
every
absolutely.
Night,
every night.
possession.
Every night.
And ended up proving a few things along the way. The Wizards, though, they missed the playoffs. 37 wins and 45 losses, just 4 shy of making it in. It wasn't just the standings that held them back. It was inconsistency, youth, and the inability to match the fire that Jordan tried so hard to light in them.
And health. Let's be fair. Health between Michael Jordan and health with Hamilton.
He failed in those considerations. But for the first time in his life, MJ was at peace with that. His body disagreed with his spirit, and this time he actually listened.
Absolutely.
None of us knew this was the final curtain. The last time Michael Jordan would ever walk off an NBA floor, or so we thought. But meanwhile, we see another asterisk in Chicago. The number 33 returned. Yes, Scottie Pippen, the silent enforcer of 6 championships, wasn't looking for applause. At 38, his numbers were a little bit more down to earth.
Yeah.
6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. But he wasn't there to pad a resume. He was there to confront mediocrity. In a locker room that had forgotten what winning required, Pippen demanded effort.
Yeah, I was telling my dad the story on Thanksgiving. Jalen Rose told the story. I'll make it quick. But it was... Okay, it was the season where Scottie Pippen's final season. He went to Chicago. He got a good payday. It was kind of like a send you off the right way kind of thing that Chicago did for him. And Jalen Rose is looking around the locker room, and like you see Scottie Pippen next to him. He sees all these other guys, and he's like, Scottie, I think we got a shot. Like we got a shot to do some damage in the playoffs, And Jalen says Scottie just looks at him and laughs and says, yo, I'm here for my payday. I ain't here for any of that stuff. So then Jalen just realized, like, oh, crap. Like, I'm about to, waste an entire year here. What the hell?
He didn't whisper. He said it out loud and in print. Have you gotten any better since you were drafted here? That wasn't a critique. That was a challenge. But that challenge equally failed like MJ's inspirational exploits in Washington. The Bulls just managed 23 wins during this 2003-2004 season. And equally fascinating was that Scottie only played 23 games this year.
Yeah.
Even in the flickering moments of his career, the number 23 just won't let him be.
I didn't realize he played that little. 23 games in his final season. Damn, man. And then Jordan was playing all 82.
They didn't retire together. They weren't even in the same team.
Yeah.
But when Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen both left the NBA in 2003, it kind of felt complete. Plotinus once described unity as a singular force, indivisible, eternal. That's what they were. Not always friends, not always aligned, but always one. 6 titles, one legacy. Even now in 2025, when their relationships seem distant, fans still remember them as a pair.
Yeah, I
You
do.
can't mention Jordan's greatness without Pippen's name trailing close behind.
Yeah,
And you can't tell the story of those bulls without writing both of them in every single chapter.
absolutely.
There were two players, but one symbol, united, inseparable, always. There were other footnotes in the league in the 2002 and 2003 season. The San Antonio Spurs were capturing their first championship, led by the steady dominance of Tim Duncan. And halfway across the world, a giant was emerging. Yao Ming, standing over 7 feet tall, was starting his rookie season with the Houston Rockets. More than just a player, Yao represented a bridge between the NBA and a whole new global audience, bringing in the league's reach to billions in China.
For sure.
It was already turning the page.
I don't think it's stated enough how much he did for the NBA. I mean, even though all he did was show up to work and do his job and do his best. But yeah, all the eyes he got on the NBA just by being him, from being, a tall Chinese guy coming into the NBA, man. I wish I could see like how much money. Like, it's impossible to know though. Like how I would like to see the difference between 1 year to the next though. Like his first year in the NBA, how much more money, how much more how many more views were coming in simply because of Yao Ming. Basically how many Asian views were coming in.
Because the same year, a new 23 is taking center stage. From the start, the hype wasn't just excessive, it was kind of nuclear.
Yeah, it was.
Think the Beatles landing in America, but if one of them could dunk on a fast break.
But I always got to give LeBron credit at this point. With all the pressure he had that rookie season, dude, the guy delivered on his rookie year. No doubt in my mind, he delivered. I was pretty damn impressed. I was also very impressed with Melo, but more so was Dwayne Wade than any of these other guys. D Wade, my eyes were on him because he seemed just mentally mature way beyond Melo and way beyond LeBron James. Plus, he had the skills to back it up. But LeBron, skill-wise, man, at that young age, coming right out of high school, I was actually blown away his rookie season.
LeBron arrived as an 18-year-old kid out of high school and, as expected, drafted number 1 overall. He immediately put up 20.9 points per game, the best ever for a high school rookie. However, he shot only 41.7%, and the Cavaliers finished just 35 and 47. He won't have another losing season in a decade and a half until he joined the Lakers. Footnote, speaking of the Lakers, Laker icon Jerry West, not just the face of the league, but the actual logo of the NBA, once relished the idea that LeBron could have landed in Memphis. Yes, in an alternate reality out there, LeBron would have won championships in Memphis. Imagine that. The Grizzlies might have actually made ESPN more than twice a year. And LeBron just wasn't a basketball phenom. He was already crafting his legacy off the court. On May 25, 2003, he appeared on Inside the NBA, calmly talking about how he wanted to surround himself with the right teammates, how he was being compared to Magic, and how, if he could choose, he'd like Coach Brown to be chosen by the chosen one himself.
Hey, what are these days like for you with all the attention and with Cleveland getting the number 1 pick, and you know that, hey, I'm staying close to home?
Well, I think I'm just really excited about this upcoming season. Hopefully we can look forward to seeing what our coach is going to be, and hopefully getting me some veteran players to surround me and try to get as easy as it can for me to make the transition from high school to the NBA.
What position do you think you're best suited?
That's interesting. I don't remember this. So the first thing he's talking about is wanting veteran players surrounding him. He's changed over the years, for sure. But that makes perfect sense because that's what I would surround an 18-year-old phenom. I would try to anchor him with a bunch of veterans to teach him the ways of the NBA. Okay, hold up. Let me back that up so I can hear the question.
Transition from high school to the NBA.
What position do you think you're best suited for?
I think the 1 and 2, because I think a lot of people compare me to Magic sitting in there, and I think for me and my teammates for the Cavs, I think wherever they need me to play, I think I can provide.
Hey, LeBron, who you
Interesting that he ended up being a small forward when he was thinking 1 and 2, even though he is more of a point forward. So I guess that is kind of bridging the gap at the 2 spot. You're a point forward. You're kind of right there. Okay. All right. Time for Ernie's question. I'm backing up a little bit. Oops.
I think I can provide.
Hey, LeBron, who do you think your coach is going to be? What are the papers up there saying? Is Jeff Van Gundy got the inside track up there? He's here watching this very interview.
Well, little do they know is in the Cleveland Plain Dealer today, there was speculations talking about Larry Brown might be the front runner. And I think Larry Brown is a great teacher if we can get him, because he can, I think I'm a student of the game, and for Larry Brown, it'd be great.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's Larry Brown. Where is... Okay, so this is Larry Brown fresh off of Detroit then, right? And prior to this, he had just led Philly to the finals.
Play a minute in the league, and he's already sounding like the GM.
Yeah, he is. You're right. He is. He's already... he is way too involved for a guy who just got drafted. You were definitely right.
Bravado, it was a vision. And in time, it became an MO.
Yeah.
It was a footnote, one that would come to define his entire career. He always saw a bigger picture. He molded the stories that will be told about him. However, his first coach, Paul Silas, believed in him. I thought he would be as good as he is, no question about it. Easy to say now, but back then, that was an educated leap of faith. The real problem? Not everyone in the locker room was on board. Silas remembered it well. We had a few guys that would test him, saying, "What has he done to warrant all this hype?" Sound familiar? Well, it should. Because in this year, just like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen before him, LeBron walked into a locker room that didn't exactly throw him a parade.
Good LeBron is just going to add to what we need, and just make things a little bit easier.
You can really just bring a high school player in and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that. And he will come in and make an immediate impact like a Caron Butler, did for the Miami Heat.
We have better players than him in his position already on our team, though. His potential is probably sky's the limit for him, though.
If he come, he can just hop on our bandwagon. And hopefully we can
Teammates weren't rallying around.
Wow, yeah, I do remember that too, though. I mean, to be fair, these guys have been in the NBA for however different amount of year each player, and all they're being asked by the media, what about LeBron James? How do you think LeBron James is going to fit in? Blah, 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 LeBron James. And even at this stage of his career, I know that this annoys the hell out of his teammates. But at this point where LeBron was completely unproven, that must have driven him nuts. Like, we're talking about a guy who just became a man. Like, he just became an adult. And you're talking about him being this guy. The irony is, though, he did come in and kind of take over that team year one.
They were watching him, judging him, even resenting him. He had the expectation.
Hey, Jordan went through the same thing in Chicago when he was a rookie. It wasn't, I mean, it happened fast too, but in the beginning, there were, like, his teammates, there was all this doubt as far as, like, why is he getting all the attention? He's not going to be a one-man show, blah, 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 blah. And then enough practices and, like, 3 or 4 games into the season, it's like, okay, yeah, we know. He's just on a different level,
Of a franchise savior, but he only had the support of a Craigslist pickup squad. It was another footnote in the making. The myth of the chosen one often begins alone. But still, he kept working. LeBron's debut against the Kings, he dropped 25 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds. The lights were bright, the cameras were rolling, and he actually delivered.
Yeah, that's a hell of a start.
It was a statement game if there ever was one. Footnote, they lost the game that night, and at the closing moments, he airballed his last shot. Maybe.
Yeah, I remember these things because this is all I was talking about when he was a rookie and in his second year, and in his third year is when I started giving up. But all I talked about was, one, how incredibly talented he is, but that's physical skill. My worry always was his mind, as far as, like, does he have a grip on what it means to be clutch and how to overcome that immense pressure you're going to feel down the stretch in a game. And that's something he never really overcame, my opinion. I don't think he ever really overcame it. He's found ways around it by surrounding himself with people who can close out games. shooting wise. So he's found the right people to pass to at the end of crucial games. But when the ball is in his hands, he never quite got there. And that's what I was always worried about his rookie season. I was just watching. How are you in the last 4 minutes of the game in a close game? And it wasn't pretty. And this one will just, this is how it started.
They lost the game that night, and at the closing moments, he airballed his last shot. Maybe a hint of the things to come,
right?
Or to overcome.
Whoops.
During his first year, he filled the stat sheet like a true star. This season, he may not be the first in rookie triple-doubles of all time, but second ain't bad. Footnote, the first was kind of insane, by the way. And of course,
triple doubles as a rookie. Jeez. Oscar just came out that's wild, man.
Of course, he won Rookie of the Year unanimously. Even that is kind of drama-filled.
Yeah, it is.
Even though it was a foregone conclusion to many, Carmelo Anthony was a very close second.
I mean, I was a bigger Dwayne Wade fan, but here, considering that Melo matched him pretty much 1-to-1 with his numbers and also got his team into the playoffs, I thought this was a no-brainer. It should have been Carmelo Anthony.
He had the better and more efficient performance on average, but the biggest achievement behind the numbers was that his work translated to a playoff spot during this season.
Agreed.
Unlike LeBron and the Cavs, who were, already watching the games in DirecTV. Mm-hmm. Remember that? Still, that success came in spite of a chaotic foundation. LeBron had to play point guard early on, totally out of position, until the Cavs finally got Jeff McInnis, which is like ordering steak and getting frozen lasagna instead. But hey, it's still food. LeBron also struggled from deep, shooting just 29% from three. But he adapted. Silas had the team take 100 shots every practice, 25 to 30 of them from long range. LeBron showed up and put in the work. As much as he's an athlete, though, he's also very keen at writing his own image. Even his jersey number 23, wasn't just a choice. Yeah. It was a message. Years later, LeBron said he wore the number because of Mike. Yeah, that Mike.
I like Kobe's approach better. You want to be the next 23, then be 24.
Reverence behind that number mattered. And we saw that reverence in year one. His rookie season wasn't perfect, but it was, kind of honest. It had rough edges, it had resistance, it was kind of real. It had the weight of expectations without the backing of a team fully behind him. Just like Jordan, but without the high esteem. Just like Pippen, but without the nostalgia. LeBron was young and alone back then, and being asked to carry not just the whole team, but the whole league over his self-aggrandizing back. We want him to succeed. But that label, the chosen one...
I did, by the way. I did want him to succeed back then.
Everyone assumes that kind of praise was a gift, a badge of honor with an asterisk, a crown awarded before the kingdom was built. For LeBron James, sure, maybe it gave him fire on the court. After all, when you're going up against the other team, being called chosen makes sense. You were called to duty against your enemies. You're supposed to dominate them. You're supposed to win over them. That's the job. If he was called the drafted one, we would have all collectively saluted in agreement.
The drafted one. I think his son, that should be his nickname. He's the drafted one.
But the chosen one is a whole different level altogether. It's downright prophetic.
Yeah.
Like foretelling an event he was chosen for. Mm-hmm. There's so many questions behind this special number. NBA veterans wondered why this kid. The other young players wondered why they're not the ones chosen. His teammates ponder, why do I need to put up with this? It isolated James as much as it put him on the spotlight. The isolation didn't just come from the outside, it came from within. Like deep, deep within. Not just from the very people that he was supposed to go to war with, but from deep within himself too. That's psychological exile if you didn't know better.
Yeah. And I think, when I talk about how he would collapse in the fourth quarters in high pressure situations, I think that's the kind of stuff that's on his, that's the weight that's on his back too. But the problem is he not only embraced it, he tattooed the chosen one on his back, so you can't get out of this at this point. Instead of just coming into the league and going with a mindset of I'm here to improve this team, very similar to what Michael Jordan said when he came in. I'm just here to try and help the Bulls get some wins, and I want to make the playoffs and all this stuff. You kept talking about team, but LeBron, it was interesting to see what he was talking about, because he was talking about what I want as a coach, what how we can get some players to help me out. Like, this kind of mentality was already like, I'm the chosen one, it's all about me. And honestly, if I was a teammate of somebody like that, I would not be a happy person, because he's thinking about himself and not about the team.
According to social identity theory, when someone disrupts the group dynamic, they become a threat.
Absolutely. Yep.
LeBron didn't just walk into the NBA as a rookie. He walked in as a threat to hierarchy.
Last thing I'll say on that, I think LeBron would have been better suited for a non-team sport. Something that is just it's just him, so he can take all the attention, all that stuff. Problem is, for him, he wouldn't have anybody to blame when he fails. But I think that would have been healthier for him, so he didn't have any scapegoats. There's no way around it. I'm thinking like tennis or something, golf, something where it's just him against his opponent.
The group responded by treating him as someone to be tolerated. LeBron's been carrying this chip on his shoulder from year one. Whether he saw it then or not, it's the sacrifices that he has to make in pursuit of one number. One. To be number one, to be the first, to be the only one.
Yeah, the chosen one.
This is what James had to go through.
They say, there's a song about it. One is the loneliest number, and he chose to be the chosen one.
Being number one, whether a top athlete, CEO, or midnight shift manager, often comes with a paradoxical price: profound loneliness and emotional isolation. As Manfred F.R. Ketz de Vries, a pioneer in leadership psychology, explains, many of the insecurities that leaders display have their origins in childhood relationships with parental figures. The quality of the relationship with the father, in particular, often profoundly influences the leader's sense of self-capacity for authority and emotional resilience.
Yeah. And yeah, that does bring up a good point. He never knew his father, and he was the only child of a single mother, right? So yeah, he would grow up with whatever attention there was. It was his attention. You know what I mean? He got that attention. He didn't have to split that around with any siblings.
This emotional legacy shapes the burdens of leadership. Ketz de Vries calls this the prisoner of leadership syndrome, a state where those at the top experience power and isolation simultaneously. The psychological defenses developed to compensate for childhood emotional wounds, including those from father absence or emotional unavailability, can lead to emotional detachment and a relentless drive for control, fueling loneliness even amid success. After over 20 years of being in the league, we saw that unwavering urge to control the narratives.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct of lacking one key component in LeBron's life.
I mean, so much he created a whole media empire in order to control that narrative. It's wild to think about. We accept all these things because it's old news, but it's crazy to think that someone was that desperate to control the narrative surrounding them. They had to create a media company, a media empire, to spread whatever narrative they wanted. He wanted to be spread first. So that hits the market first, and then everybody else is bouncing off of whatever Clutch is saying.
And we saw it.
That's where his father did come into play. I'm sure his brothers had something to do with it too. But, you got to learn those kind of lessons from an older guy sometimes. And he didn't have that. Jordan had that with his father 100%. And his father would always kind of humble him. Jordan speaks about this a lot. Don't let it all get to your head. Take a step back, really assess the situations, don't think you're bigger than the game. Those are very important things for somebody with this much attention on them.
And also lost his father to disability early in his life. But rather than rebel and take matters into his own hands, He was forced to learn how to take responsibility not just for his own life, but for the rest of his big family. He saw the role that his father left behind. He saw how it was done when he was young and saw enough to step into the role even at a tender age. Imagine if LeBron had such a figure back in the time. He would have been complete. That figure made Jordan complete, equipped for what he had to face in the NBA amidst all of the expectations and tribulations.
And the key word, accountability. You know, that's what I think. Yeah, LeBron never had that guy of, you know, that authoritative male in his life to say, you know, when LeBron James, you know, the first time that he basically threw his teammates under the bus, he needed a father to come in and be like, hey, kid, like, what are you doing here? Like, you can't do that as a leader. You can't throw them under the bus and expect them to fight for you next year. Like, that's not the way a leader goes. But that has to come from, you know, that knowledge, and that wisdom only comes with age.
His father was there for many of the moments too.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time he was gone, MJ was already making history. In the Bulls, MJ and Pippen had a rare sports dynamic. Two completely different personalities, perfectly aligned in purpose. Jordan was obsessive, emotional, dominant. Pippen was calm, cerebral, and selfish. That built trust and mutual dependence. Jordan knew that he couldn't win without Pippen, and Pippen knew he could only reach greatness alongside Jordan. His airness had his reliable hand beside him. They both needed help. Both knew to stick around to get the job done. Over and over and over and
Yes,
over
sir.
again.
You know, the thing that I remember the most about my father is for a person like myself who live in the spotlight and is so critical, you know, from people all the time in terms of what I do, what I say, you know, where I go. You know, don't wear your reputation, don't wear your accolades, don't wear your, you know, your personality on your sleeve. Let it happen, let it be you. It is who you are. Don't hide from it, but don't wear it and rub it in people's faces.
And that's the kind of stuff I was alluding to a couple minutes ago. I wouldn't want to know who Michael Jordan would have become if he didn't have his dad by his side for the majority of his life, like keeping him at bay. Because the amount of attention that Michael Jordan got, positive and negative, was astronomical. You can compare it to LeBron James, very similar situation, but they went in a completely different way. You know, Michael Jordan tried to stay humble, and LeBron James embraced all the positive energy and then just rejected all the negative. You know, it's not a healthy, there's no balance that way.
What advice would you give him?
First one's always the hardest. And then, you know, as you get that first, the expectation comes. Mm-hmm. And now you got to live with those. Yeah, everybody says this is your 7th year, and they compare everything to me in terms of me winning in my 7th year. And we had some tough battles, you know. But once I got there, I never left.
Yeah.
You know, and I think once he gets there, the expectation is that he never should leave. You know, and I wish him the best of it.
That's awesome.
In LeBron's year
And
one,
I gotta agree with Jordan again, though. Like, that was the expectation. I didn't care if it was going to take him 12 years in Cleveland to win a championship. It was that, like, building that team that I was excited about, but it didn't happen. He left, you know. He left, and then he eventually did win, but the timeline was all screwed up by then. He won 2 championships in Miami, but he never won one in Cleveland. He knew that, so he had to go back. Then he won 1 in Cleveland, and then he left again. You know, so like that expectation that Jordan was saying, it's hard to get your first one, but once you do, the expectation is you stay there and you try to stay on top of that mountain for as long as possible, you know, like a heavyweight champion would do. You don't want to get knocked off the top of the mountain, but that didn't go that way for LeBron. It was win a couple here, win 1 here, run to this team. Like, you never defended your kingdom. And for a guy who calls himself the king, it's really ironic that he always abandons his kingdom.
we hope to see the same. The next in line to inspire the next generation. We saw glimmers of that greatness, and sure, it's not going to be the same. We weren't expecting MJ 2.0. But what we really wanted to know was what this chosen one was all about. But reality kept us all grounded. In fact, if he had never been presented as the chosen one, he was actually really good. But like the greats before him, the chosen one needed someone to be more than the singular. Anything less felt incomplete. So hopefully this is the first and last time that I'm going to show my face into this channel. First and foremost, I would like to thank The Real Mindcrime for inspiring me to make this channel about NBA, about numbers, and about basketball in general. We love this game, and we want to continue talking about it. And the way I talk about my basketball stuff, I prefer to be in a documentary style, and I think that asking people to subscribe and like doesn't feel right with that kind of format.
I'll do it for you. You guys, if you enjoyed this video, which I did, I highly recommend you go down into my my description of the video. Check it out. The link is in there to check out this channel right here. And if you want to subscribe or head over and just give the video a view and a like and all that stuff, I think he'd appreciate it, even though he's not going to ask for it. I get it. It's very awkward to ask for these things. It's become kind of automatic at this point, but it helps a lot. So if you did enjoy this video, highly recommend and ask you guys to go over there and like his video and subscribe to his channel. Anyways, there you go.
So this is hopefully the first and last time that I'm going to do that. If you like this channel, subscribe and like this video. It helps a lot, as you know how things work. Yep. I trust that you guys already know how things work on YouTube. If you like the video, you're going to like it. If you love watching more of these videos, you're just going to subscribe to the channel. So I feel that I don't have to mention that. But if I have to, it's going to be here in the last part of this first video. Nice. And hopefully you'll just watch the videos and not look at my face. I have another channel which is really totally different subject about watches and all that kind of stuff. So if you want that, well, you can freely find that somewhere, and I'm just probably going to link it in the description. But thank you again for watching, and see you in the next Behind the Numbers video.
Wow. Well, okay, that's it. Wow. Well, okay, first of all, a fantastic video. For a first video on a channel, I'm absolutely blown away. I kind of I got really into this one, and I forgot where we started here, which was that, this guy was saying that I inspired him to create a channel, and I completely forgot, because this did not feel like a first video. This was incredibly high quality, great video. I definitely didn't expect to get a shout out at the end there. It's one thing to shout out in mentions, but to get a shout out at the end of your first video, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. That's a really cool feeling, to think that just me, behind a microphone talking about my experiences and my memories with basketball inspired anyone to do anything, in fact, is a really cool thing. So to not only get that satisfaction, but to see it become something, like a channel with content, and then to go full circle and react to it, crazy, man. I gotta say, life is pretty wild sometimes, but I'm very flattered, and I'm glad I inspired you to do something awesome, because I think this is awesome. So now, it'll switch gears from here. I'm sure your video and your future videos will inspire other people to do the exact same thing. I hope they do. Yeah. What else to say about this vid? Okay, let's think about the context of the video. I mean, it seems like we agree. we agree on pretty much everything here. I mean, LeBron did come in with this crazy potential, and it's just really, it was his need and it was his need to control everything that I think was the worst thing that could have happened for his career, even though he would never admit it, because in his mind, he probably thinks that if he didn't, take full control, he'd never win. But the irony is, to me, I think if he would have just focused on his craft, done his job like Michael Jordan and a lot of the other greats, and just let the rest of the pieces fall where they may, I think there would have been a much higher opportunity of winning. Because you lose, you figure out why you lost. You add a piece, you change a piece. Eventually you get to the point where you're at the top of the mountain and no one can take you down. And then you stay up there for as long as possible. But he never got that experience because he kept, he had to hold on to that control and move around and control things, blow up teams, all this kind of stuff that happened in his career. But yeah, I really think if he would have stayed in Cleveland and just done that for 23 years, I think he'd have a lot more than 4 championships, to tell you the truth. But it is what it is, live by the sword, die by the sword. And in this case, the sword was he wanted to be much more than a player. He wanted to be a GM, he wanted to be a coach, and he got what he wanted. And I just don't think it resulted in nearly as much winning as he would have got if he would have just allowed other people to do their job and him to just zone in 1000% on honing in his craft. The first time he got exploited in the playoffs because he didn't have a jump shot, like just nonstop for a year, just work on your jump shot, make it so you're gonna make people regret the day they gave you that 3 to 4 feet of space, and then move that out to the 3-point line. But anyways, what LeBron had in year 1 is kind of what LeBron has right now. Great at driving to the basket, and he's a great passer. That's really where it kind of ends, though. So having a start like that, I really expected him to correct these problems. And even if he is going to be a playoff choker in the fourth quarters of crucial games, if you would have stayed somewhere like Cleveland and acknowledged this, to your coach or to your GM, like, hey, I need a deadly scorer with ice in his veins for these clutch points, because I'm going to get double teamed, at the end of games. I need somebody to hit these shots, and then just stick with that person. I think it would have been a much better situation for him in the long run. But it is what it is, and yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and end it like that, you guys. So one last time, the link to the original video is in the description of this video if you want to check it out. I apologize for not seeing that mentioned sooner. I wish I would have reacted to this one sooner. But now it's kind of cool because we got to see where that original video numbers-wise was going to go naturally. And now we can see if there's a positive impact that could be made by my channel and our community here that we've built. You guys are all awesome. And if you want to help get more eyes on the original video, you can help out my video as well. Give it a like, give it a boost, give me a comment down below, all that good stuff. It all helps in the algorithm. And I appreciate you guys. So what's left to say except for be water, my friends.